Okay. All right, so we do these every single Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can always count on them. And just like we have Noelle on tonight, usually I have a pretty amazing guest on that is leadership with the company. And I love hearing from people that are doing it. They've been doing it. They're doing the right things. Some of them have done the wrong things. And so they teach us what not to do, which I know Noelle is going to touch on tonight. So let's just hop into it and make sure after this you get on Mark Pentecost's Facebook page so that you can see our new product that we're launching at 10 o'clock Eastern. I'm super excited. Okay, so go for it, Noelle. Can you tell us all about you, your story, how long you've been in, and just all of those great things?
Hey, you guys. Thanks for having me on tonight, Kim. You just like, she's just like, just go for it. Okay, well, here we go. I hope that's okay. Well, you guys, my name is Noelle Cruz. I'm a presidential diamond. I have been in the business for 6.5 years. And when I first came across this company, I was actually working 3 part-time jobs with my 2-year-old in tow. And I was actively looking for something to do from home. I'm going to pull up the chat in case any of you ask questions. That's going to be helpful. And I was actively looking for something to do from home because I was so tired of my jobs. I was always on call. Honestly, I'm a terrible employee. I just am. I hate working for other people. And so I would always show up less than enthusiastic because I had to be there and I usually wasn't on time and I couldn't wait to go home. I was that person. And so I was looking for something, but network marketing really never crossed my mind. Why? I'm not really sure. I had been a part of another company and I knew the potential of this industry to build wealth. Like that was the one thing that I was never skeptical about the industry like a lot of people. The very first time somebody introduced me to network marketing, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like this is how people build wealth because of the residual income and the leverage time. I was like, totally made sense. So that first company I was with, I gave them 3.5 years and I did everything I was supposed to do, you guys. I sampled all the things. I did all the parties. I literally was one of the only people who showed up to the opportunity, like the coffee house opportunity presentations every single week with a new guest every single week. I went to the conference. I did all the things and I never made more than $300 in a month ever with that company in 3.5 years. So if you can imagine doing everything that you were supposed to do with It Works and like you're constantly wrapping people and you're constantly bringing people opportunity presentations and you're constantly doing all the things and you never like made it past executive, like that would be no good, right? So anyway, so I quit that company and I just never thought about network marketing again. But when I was in this life stage, like God totally brought It Works to my lap. And like, I say that, like, I didn't find It Works found me at just the right moment in time. My girlfriend who'd been trying to recruit me into a candle business, started posting some crazy belly pictures. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that is, but I got to check it out. So I messaged her and I was like, you got to tell me about these things. And I was like, did you create these? And she was like, no, if I made these, I'd be a billionaire. And I was like, oh yeah, that's probably true. So no, but she put me on the phone with somebody who could answer my questions about the products. Little did I know he was going to introduce me to the business. And that person was Chad Kneller. I don't know if you guys know Jeree and Chad Kneller, but she was really smart. She knew nothing. She was literally 2 days into the business and I messaged her and I was like, tell me what this is about. And she was like, I don't know anything. Let's hop on the phone with my friend Chad. He'll explain it to you. Well, he started pitching me the business. And you guys, I literally remember sitting there going, I am not going to take notes. Like he literally was like, grab a pen and a piece of paper and start taking notes. And I was like, I am not going to take notes. And God was like, Noelle, pick up a pen. And I was like, no. And he was like, pick up a pen. Like, this is like an audible conversation I'm having, like in my bedroom. It was so crazy. And I picked up a pen and I started frantically taking notes. And by the end of that call, I was like, okay, like, I'm going to do this. And I told him, I said, my husband's going to tell me no, but I'm going to do it anyway. So you just got to give me some time. And that is exactly what happened. My husband was like, I forbid you to start this business. And I was like, well, I'm going to do it anyway. And we didn't speak for like 2 weeks, not even joking. He'll tell you that. He's like, we didn't talk to you for 2 weeks. He was so angry because I adamantly disobeyed him. But now he thanks me. And I was like, just give me a year. I was like, if I don't make any money in a year, I'll quit it. And I'll say, I won't ever try one of these things ever again. And you can say, I told you so. And I'll go back to work, right? But I'm so glad that this came into my life right when it did. Because within a week, I went executive. The next month I went ruby. Within 3 months I went diamond, and I got a $10,000 bonus. Within 4 months I went double. Within a year I went triple. Within 2 years I went presidential. And in that time I earned $175,000 in bonuses. And you guys, like, I had never made more than $2,000 in my life, in like a month ever. I had never made more than $15,000 a year ever. So I was not a success story by any means. I was literally somebody who was a server, and I was a real estate agent, and I was a barista, and I worked customer service, and I did retail, and I cleaned houses, and I worked in my gym daycare, and I was a jack of all trades, master of none. But I liked people. Like, that's the thing. I like people and I like money. So, you know, I really like money. So I'm very red, but I've always been the person who was like, I was a military wife. So wherever I went, I had to make friends. So it was like, okay, we moved to a new base. The first thing I did was go and find a job. And the second thing I would do was go find a church and make friends. Like, that was what I did. Job, church, small group, friends. And I had to step out of my box. Everywhere I went, like, I would literally go to a new church and I'd be like, hi, I'm new. You want to go have coffee? Like, I was that person because you had to be. And most people live in the civilian world where everybody has like this, they already have their friends. They have this bubble. And why go out and meet new people when you don't have to? Because you're comfortable, right? You're comfortable in this little circle that you live in. Well, I didn't have that luxury. And so because of that, I had friends all over the place. And so when I started this business, I literally just started reaching out to people, you guys. And I was like, you need to do this with me. Like, that was it. It wasn't, there was no fear because I knew what I had my hands on. I didn't really know what I had my hands on because I had never heard of the company before I talked to my girlfriend. I had never tried the products before I signed up. But I knew in my heart that this was something special. And you guys, this is something so special. Like, I feel like this opportunity now is even better than it was then. And I picked up the phone and I called my sister and I was like, I was like, you're going to want these products and we're going to do the business together. And she was like, no. Like, I have 5 other businesses right now. Like, legit, she had 5 other businesses. She's like, I don't have time. And I was like, listen, you're going to want to get your products for free anyway. So just sign up with me. You can sell a couple things just to a couple people, and then you can get your products for free. And she was like, okay, that sounds good. Guys, she's a presidential diamond right now. I called my mom and I was like, Mom, you're working at CVS. Like, you have no money in the world. And oh, by the way, like, you're going to love this. So you need to sign up and do this business with me. And she was like, okay. She didn't really know what she was doing. My mom is like totally blue, like super sweet and loves everybody. So she was like, okay. Called my aunt. I was like, listen, you're a single mom in Southern California. This is an amazing opportunity for you to make money and provide for your girls. And she's super holistic. So I was like, oh, and by the way, the products are non-GMO and they're all food-based. They're all really clean. You're going to love them. And she was like, okay. Like, you guys, I literally just started calling people. And that was the one thing I didn't do is I didn't ask. I literally was like, you need to do this with me. Like, I told them, and that's so scary for so many people to think like, I can't talk to people like that. Well, you can, but often we don't have the confidence to do that. And I was like, I just didn't even care. Like, I think that was one of the big reasons I was able to go so far so fast is because I truly didn't care if people were going to tell me yes or no, but I was so excited. I was totally ignorance on fire. And I was so excited about what I had my hands on that I was just out there and I was like, you have to try this route. You have to do this business with me. And I would literally go to the grocery store and I would blitz my checker and I'd be like, I would pull out my phone and I'd be like, oh my gosh, look at this picture. And it was my belly after I'd wrapped. And they'd be like, what is that? And I'm like, that's me. And they were like, okay, what did you do? I want it. Like, that is how easy it is to blitz people, you guys. Like, I literally just always I had my photos organized in my photo album and I would just go, and everywhere I went, people were seeing pictures of my belly. And I was like, this is the results I got. And at that time, it took me 2 wraps to get really good results. The first wrap, I bloated and I was huge and I was super upset. And I was like, okay, so these skinny wraps that I'm selling to everybody made me fat. What do I do now? And then I did my second wrap and I had amazing results. So I was like, these are my results, like a week apart, no diet, no exercise, just these body wraps. And people were like, I want it. So I would blitz them. They would come over to my house. Literally, I had strangers come over to my house. I would put a wrap on them in my living room. And we lived in a teeny tiny, like 1-bedroom apartment, me, my husband, and my toddler. And I would like put a wrap on them in my living room. I would give them a glass of water. I would give them some greens. And before that wrap even came off their body, they were a customer, they were a distributor. And I had made cash. And that was what we needed. You guys, we were so far behind. Credit card debt, student loans, car payment. Like, we could not get ahead. And I for sure did not have the money to start this business. So that all went on a credit card. So it was so amazing to be able to go out there and literally like bring people over to my home, put a wrap on them, make $25 and take that money and put gas in our car and go and get groceries. Like, I just love product cash. So anyway, it has been quite a journey. I have learned a lot of things, what to do, what not to do, but I love the products. I love the business. I love the people. I love Kim. I'm so excited that we got to do a Zoom together. So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm totally rambling. So
no, I love your story. And we have, yes, Mara, product cash is the best. And what I love, Noelle, is we have a very similar story. And especially because how long ago did you start?
I started February 2013.
Yeah. So we started same year. And we've been doing this. And so we got into the business with a lot of, you're using the word blitz. And I bet a lot of people on here don't even know what that means. And so we did a lot, which is crazy. I still do blitz and my team knows that. Like most of them know that. So we did a lot of blitzing, wrapping, and repeating. And that was like our thing. Blitz, wrap, repeat. Just get the wraps on people, put products in their hand. I love that you still do pick up the phone, because so do I. And so when people get into the business, I love that I've been doing this almost 6 years, because I can show them what really works, which is old school, being personal, being connected. Of course, I love social media, but I still love coffee dates, wrap parties, getting into a new church, small groups. I was so excited for that, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll be able to build a connection. I hope to find my Denise Walsh at a church, like Cammie did. Like
I want to find my Denise Walsh at a church too.
I'm like, wait, Cammie found Denise at a church. I think I'm gonna find Denise at a church. So you just have to be willing to do the things. I had someone on my team who's on this Zoom actually. I'll let you answer this. She said, now I just need to get team members. I just need to get people started. Like I need to get some good ideas for that. And I'm like, I love and hate to tell you, you just gotta ask. Like you literally just have to ask. So I started this business with 400 Facebook friends, and I went diamond in 5 months because I asked every single one of them. So what do you do even today, like today, yesterday, the day before, what do you do to recruit new distributors and grow your team still?
It's absolutely a matter of asking. So I literally will go through and I'll be like, hey girl, have you ever thought about doing what I do and making money from your phone? You would be so good at this. And I'm not going to say that to everyone. I literally turned down somebody who was interested in the business the other day because she commented on a business host post. And then I went and looked at her page, and it was full of profanity and just nasty stuff. And I sent her the voice message, because I send like a voice clip before I sent him a friend request, I sent him a voice clip, like that's my initial message. And then I checked out her page and I immediately went and like removed my friend request, and she was like, I'm so interested. And I was like, this isn't going to be a good fit for us. And I was like, I'm not even going to waste my time. I'm not even going to go there. But I literally, you have to ask, but you have to, it's all about your posture. And the reason that some people are successful in signing distributors and some people aren't is the way that they posture themselves in a conversation. So when I approach somebody and ask them to take a look at my business, I'm approaching them with 1,000% confidence that the products work, the business works, and I can teach you how to be successful, right? If you're approaching people where like you don't really have personal results to share, you're not really sure if the business works because, well, maybe you know some people that have had results, but you haven't had success, and you don't know that you can train people, you're going to get very different answers. But this is the thing. I always had that confidence from the beginning, and it's totally that fake it till you make it thing, because like I didn't have any idea what I was doing, but I didn't feel like I was faking it because I was really, really excited. But you don't have to know anything to be successful. You just have to know how to find the answers. And you have to be humble enough to say, I don't know. And so when I first started, I literally would just be like, oh my gosh, you have to take a look at this business. It's going to be amazing. It's going to help you make money from home. And they'd be like, what is it? I'd be like, I don't know. Let's get on the phone and talk to somebody who knows. Like, oh my gosh, you have to try this product. Look at these pictures. How does it work? I don't know. Let's get on the phone and talk to somebody who does. Like, I literally told people all the time, for 4 straight months to double diamond, I was like, I don't know. Let's talk to somebody who does. I don't know. Let me find the answer. Because people don't care if you know, but they do care if you give them the correct information. You're not an encyclopedia, you guys. I literally to this day have not read our policies and procedures. I have no idea what's in there. I'm not even gonna lie. And I'm green, but I'm way more red, so I'm not gonna take the time to read policies and procedures because I'm not gonna make me any money. But you don't have to know. I am like a walking encyclopedia of our products, which I think is so cool because I am green and I love our products and I love to be able to tell people what different health conditions can be helped by certain things, which I love. And that really helps me sign a lot of customers. But you know what? All that knowledge does not help me sign distributors. If I'm talking to somebody about being a customer and I'm like literally giving them a health eval like a doctor would, guess what? They don't think that they can do this business because I just made it not duplicatable because everything that I just told them, they cannot repeat. So if you keep it simple and you're just like, let's talk to somebody who knows. Let's talk to somebody who knows. Let's talk to somebody who knows. Let's look it up. Let's see what we can find. That's duplicatable, you guys. And this business is that simple where you literally can teach people how to do your job by using your back office, by using the product coach, and by using your uplines for three-way calls. So you have to ask, but you have to be excited. When you ask, you have to be confident and you have to be excited.
I couldn't unmute. Oh my gosh. Okay. So by the way, let me put this out there. If you have questions for her, put them in the chat for sure. Please ask questions. But so how many kids do you have again, Noelle?
3.
3. Okay. So I love hearing, last week we heard from Cheyenne Knox, who has none. And she's killing it at life and she's super young. She's freaking 20. But I love hearing from those people and then us kind of people who do have kids and who do stay busy. And I love that you talk about, I've followed you since you pretty much joined. I've seen you at every single event, which I want to talk about in a second. Let me write it down. I want to talk about events, but I've seen you at everything, even though you've been pregnant at some of them, you've had kids. You talked about having your kids in tow going to clean houses or whatever it was, hotel houses, I can't remember. But so I guess we'll ask this. Paige just asked it, and then we'll ask Heather's for sure. How do you balance your time between kids and business? Because obviously to have a successful business, you need to be consistent in working it. So what do you do still to this day, even with, I have 2 kids and they can be so distracting and they can be a handful. And I'll notice I'll tell myself, Kim, you are not allowed to message people right now because you're irritated, and they'll feel that. And so I have to set aside the time. Thank God I have Joe too, but how do you balance, business and just being a mom?
Okay, so Heather asked a question. I'm going to just answer super fast about the colors. So you guys have to take the color personality test. I'm sure Kim will send you the link later. But that has been, you have to. You just have to. And the reason you have to, Kim can probably, if she knows you, she can probably tell you what color you are, but she's not going to tell you what color you are because she's going to make you take the test and then she's going to verify that you are for sure that color. But there's red, yellow, green, and blue. And Kim is very blue. She's very outgoing. She likes to party. She's like, what? That's Kim. And then you have 70% of people are yellows. So I'm not going to go into what they are, but what I will tell you is that 70% of people are yellows, and yellows are, they're not like me. I usually scare yellows because I'm so loud, and yellows don't like people that are loud. They like quiet, soft hugs and quiet conversations and lots of eye contact and just all the soft things. And I'm not yellow at all. And so if I'm scaring you, I'm so sorry. That's just how I am. But you guys have to know that you're going to see a lot of red leaders because reds are very type A. They're very money motivated. They're very driven. They're very laser focused. I'm the kindest red. Oh, thank you. But that's why I was able to start and blinders on. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you're going to say. I don't care if you're going to tell me no. I'm doing this with or without you. That's my red. And that's something you can learn. And what I have, and so as you take this test and you discover who you are, what I want you to know is that if you start out 1,000% yellow, the more personal development you do, you will become red. Not that you will become red as your primary, you will always be yellow. But your red will grow to a point where you have what I call rhino skin, which means that you can take more. You can take more crap being thrown at you. You can take more rejection. You can take more people making fun of you, and you will just be like, listen, I know what I know. I don't need your opinion. Bye. Like that's what personal development will do for you. And that's actually a leadership quality. But the reason that you'll see a lot of people that are red in the top leadership is because they got there faster, because they were focused, and because they didn't let all of those negative naysayers keep them from doing what they wanted to do. So that's where personal development comes in, and it's huge, guys. Like I always harp on my team about personal development. It's one of my biggest keys to success is if you're not doing it, you're not going to get very far, because you can only grow as far as it's the law of the lid. If you guys read John Maxwell, which you should all read John Maxwell, but your business will only grow as far as your leadership has been developed. And so the more you develop yourself, the more your business is able to grow. But okay, so balancing with life. So I came into this business having a almost 3-year-old. And shortly after I started the business, when I started making money is when we were able to afford to go start seeing a fertility doctor. Now, backstory on that, we had been trying to have a baby for over a year, another baby. Nothing, like just nada. By the way, in this time I started taking the greens. I don't know if that has anything to do with my pregnancies or not, but started taking the greens in March 2013. And we went and started working with a fertility doctor that fall. And she told me that I would never be able to have any more babies. And she was like, if you guys want to have more kids, you're going to have to do in vitro. And we were like, we really feel like if we're just supposed to have one, we'll have one. And I was like super heartbroken about that, because I felt like I was supposed to have more, but I was like, if God wants me to have one, I will have one. Well, I ended up having a surgery for like cysts and found out I had severe endometriosis and all of this, and came out of that. And that's what she told me, I'd never be able to have kids. Well, 6 weeks later, I was pregnant with my second one. And so, fertility doctors lie sometimes, but God. So I was pregnant, and I'm not supposed to have babies, right? She was a total fluke accident, right? Total chance that I got pregnant. Well, she was just a few months old when I got pregnant with number 3. So surprise, I can have babies. After that, we started using birth control. No more babies for us. But I had 2 babies in 2 years. They're literally 13 months apart. So I was literally pregnant and breastfeeding for 2 years. So I was at green carpet. I was at conference. One of the green carpets I was at, I was literally 37 weeks pregnant. So when people tell me all the time, oh, I can't travel, my doctor told me I can't fly, I'm like, your doctor is lying, or you're lying to me, first of all, because I straight up asked my doctor. I was like, I'm going to Florida. And she's like, you're going to be in your 3rd trimester. I was like, can I fly? She's like, well, you can. And I was like, should I not fly? And she was like, no, you'll be fine. And I was like, there's hospitals in Florida, right? She's like, yeah. I was like, so if I go into labor in Florida, I'll be fine? She's like, yeah, you're fine. I'm like, okay, done. Like, I don't care. You guys, there's hospitals everywhere. So if you're like, I can't go to an event because I'm pregnant, you're fine. Like, Kim will drive you to the hospital. You'll have your baby. You'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Like, I literally went home the next week and had my baby, and everything was fine. So that's one of those things that's like a no excuses thing. Like, your baby's going to stay in there, and if your baby needs to come out, it's going to come out, and it's going to be fine, because there's good doctors everywhere. Let's not fly to Africa in your 3rd trimester, okay? We'll just make that a plan. So anyway, all the events. I never missed an event, you guys, and you have to get to events, because when you get to events, that's like, there's never going to be, all the top leaders are going to be at an event. And the reason that top leaders are at an event is because they always went to the events, and that is what allowed them to become top leaders. Because people who are serious about their business don't miss events, and those events are what's going to allow you to become the person you need to be, and inspire you and fill your cup enough and light your fire enough to get you over whatever it is you're dealing with, to get you to that next level. You're going to see somebody at an event. You're going to hear a story that you're going to be able to connect with, and it's just going to be like, that's me. From the back of the room, you're going to see somebody on stage, and you're going to be like, if they can do it, I can do it. Like, I literally look at these like 21-year-old ambassador diamonds, and I'm like, she can freaking go ambassador. I can go ambassador, right? Like, this is, and yeah, maybe they don't have kids, and maybe they don't have all these things going on. And you guys, like, my husband travels, so he's gone. like at least 3 or 4 nights a week. Okay. So I'm kind of a single mom with 3 kids. I can make it work, right? I can make it work. And so with the kids, and I have to talk to my team about this all the time, you have to do pockets of time. This business doesn't have to be done in hours. It's done in moments. And so what that means is, I get up and I'm going to have my personal development. I'm going to get up before my kids, of course, because otherwise that's not going to happen, right? I'm going to get up before my kids. I'm going to do my personal development. They're going to wake up. I'm going to get them set up for breakfast. And while they're having breakfast, I'm going to go through and I'm going to send some messages, right? I'm going to get them dressed for school. I'm going to, I'm going to do all that. And then when I drop them off, maybe I sit there for 10 minutes and I send a few more messages. Like you literally work it in moments. You take your kids home, you sit on the floor and play with them for 15 minutes. And then you get 10 minutes to yourself. And then you go back and you put a little laundry in, and then you do a little bit more work. And then you go and do the dishes, and then you do a little bit more work. You literally do this in moments. But if you don't have a list, you don't have like what is your must do income producing activities, you're going to just sit there and scroll or whatever. And you're not going to do anything income producing, and you're going to waste your time that you are on your phone or that you do have to call people because you don't know what you're doing. So I think being intentional with your time is what is going to make this work. You have to be super, super organized and intentional with your time.
And that's so good. Like, you just described my day. You're like, then you take your kid to school, then you get in the car for 10 minutes and you message me, then you do dishes, then you do stuff. Like, that's literally my life. I do all the motherly things. Okay. But then I back up and I am intentional with my time. So, we've talked about a 6 list. Cami Pentecost constantly since the beginning of my business has talked about having an income producing 6 list. And what I love is you said, like, if you don't have a plan when you wake up in the morning, like, what do I need to do for my business today? You'll just scroll, and it'll be so wasteful when you could have been doing things more income producing, like host to post, making really great things to put on your story that are attractive, calling someone. I have to literally write down, like, I got to call this girl at 3 p.m. So I love that. And my 6 list, it looks the same almost every day. I might tweak a couple of things, but it's post, message, follow up, grow your network, chart, get a hold of so-and-so. Like, it looks relatively the same. And if you can, like, check mark those things off, man, your day looks good. And I'm proud of a day like that. And I'm not as flustered. But I love that you talked about my favorite things ever is I really, truly in my heart, and I think you can agree, I truly feel in my heart that if you don't, like you said, if you don't do your personal development and you don't go to events, you literally will be on a hamster wheel. And you'll be like, why am I stuck at executive for years and years and years? Like, it is.
Even that you stop, you're not going to be here. Like, yeah. You're going to quit. Like, that's not even, you're going to quit.
Yeah, I would have definitely, in 6 years, I would definitely not be here today if it wasn't for events and personal growth. Because how can you be successful if you have no idea how, and you don't hear from other people, and you don't build these friendships, and you don't listen to Eric Worre telling you all these great network marketing building tips? I mean, those are just examples, but yeah, you wouldn't be here today. So I love that you touched on events, but really quickly, well, yeah, you pretty much said all the things about events. You pretty much nailed it. I was going to say, can you talk more about it? But I mean, events are so important. I learned I remember my sister, I'm going to call her out. She's not on here. She doesn't do the business anymore. She was my emerald when I went diamond. Still my best friend. Love her, obviously, to death. But I remember her telling me about a year into our business, she was like, I'm not going to try it. It was an OTOM. And I'm like, why? And she's like, because I don't need to pay $11 every time to hear the same thing. And I'm like, wait, whoa. We actually got into an argument. I'm like, like a legit argument. I'm like, bro, are you serious? Like, that's not the point. It's you're filling up, you're bringing your new team. Hi, duh. You're showing your team that you show up. Therefore, they're going to show up and they're going to learn something. And I'm like, whoa, that didn't make any sense. Like, events are even tried events, which are geared towards guests. Those are my favorite because I learn something new. I hear a story. I connect with someone else. I get to vibe with my team. You have to get to events, which is why, real quick plug, we're going to host a green carpet party at Kaylee's house, you guys, just so y'all know. So look out for the event for that. It's going to be amazing. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that. Events are everything. So you told me in Messenger, you're like, do you even want me to talk about the nitty gritty? And I'm like, heck yes, because who doesn't want to hear, this isn't always sunshine and rainbows. It's not. I mean, I've done this a long time. It's not always, sometimes I see my check go down and other times I see it go way up. And, it's it's just been such a blessing the whole 6 years, but you definitely have this kind of a ride. It's never, if you have this kind of a ride, you're lying. You're straight up lying. No one just goes up from the beginning. So it's always a roller coaster until you can figure out what you're doing. So yes, we'll live it. Sienna said, yes, we'll live it. So can you tell us like what you were talking to me about on Messenger, just the moments where you're like, crap, I did the wrong things and I won't do that again, and just learning and failing forward?
I think one of the biggest things I've learned, because you guys, I went from not knowing anything to presidential diamond in 2 years, right? Like that's a straight shot to success. Super solid. You know, I went presidential diamond with over ambassador volume, just like really solid team. And one of the things that I remembered, and I was talking to Pam about this the other day, because I was like reflecting on that time. She was like, when you were presidential in 2 years, did you know who was coming and who was going? And I was like, no. She was like, you didn't know because you weren't focused on the people who weren't here. And something happened with me when I went presidential, and I let some yellow people, because sometimes you yellows can be super manipulative because you think that you're better than everyone else because you have this like God complex. And like, trust me, as a red, I have my laundry list of negativity. So let me just tell you that I'm a total bitch. Let me kind of say that. No, but yellows, you have this thing where where you think that because you have a higher ethical standard, you're better than everyone else. And so I had a lot of my yellow leaders that happened to be very close to me start saying things to me that were like, oh, well, you hurt so-and-so's feeling, and I don't like the way that you did this team call, and this and that and the other. And I let that get to me. And I shouldn't have. But because I was like, I had to take a step back and be like, oh my gosh, am I a bad leader? Am I a bad friend? Am I a bad person? I let all of this take me down a notch. And what happened was I started to alter who I was. I started to try to make myself somebody that I wasn't. I tried to make myself softer and kinder, when really I'm a very strong individual, but anybody who knows me knows that I will fight to the death for you because I am loyal and I love you and I want to see you succeed, but I just do it in a different way. I'm the person who will call you to the carpet, and I'm not going to beat around the bush, and I'm going to tell it how it is, even if it hurts. Because if I'm doing something wrong, I don't want somebody to sit there and watch me drown. I want somebody to come and pull me out of the water and say, what are you doing? Right? And that's how I treat my team, because I want them to succeed. I don't want them to drown. And so I love you intensely, and I really, truly want to see you succeed, but I'm not gonna, I'm just not a yellow, right? Okay. So I let that change who I was. And all of a sudden I started noticing the people that weren't showing up to Zooms, and the people that weren't responding to my text messages, and the people that weren't responding to my calls. And I started noticing the attrition. I started noticing the people that were quitting. And I started trying to spend more time helping my team than actually building my own business. So if you're a leader, and by leader, I mean anybody who's an executive or higher, if you have anybody on your team, you are a leader. And you're not spending 80% of your time on your own business, you have to stop and make that shift right now. Nobody is more important than your family. Your team is not more important than your family. Your best friend is not more important than your family. And that sounds super selfish, but at the end of the day, what happens if they all leave you? Your family is what matters. You get to focus 80% of your time on your business. And that means your personal development, your personal blitzing, your personal messaging, your income producing activities. 20% of your time is reserved for your team. That can be for whatever you want it to be. It can be for shout outs. It can be for follow-ups. It can be for 3-way calls or 3-way chats. But at the end of the day, 80% of your time has to be spent on your business. And I'm going to be that person. I am that person that says you get to be selfish because you didn't join this business for other people. You joined this business for you, even all you yellows out there. You joined this business to make a difference in your family's life. And maybe you didn't realize when you joined the legacy impact that this could make for you, but it can. And at the end of the day, if you didn't do anything for yourself, but you helped 12 other people, those 12 other people still might end up stabbing you in the back. They might end up leaving. They might end up throwing you under the bus. They might end up doing nothing but blaming you for their lack of success. Or they might end up being an ambassador diamond on your team. But you know what? You helping them is not going to make or break their success. The people who are successful in this business do it on their own. You're not going to see one top leader on stage who was built to that position. They all did it on their own. So you work with the people who come to you. You leave everybody else be. Like I literally message my distributors once a month and I'm like, hey, you ready to do this with me? I'm here. You want to set some goals? You want me to help you game plan for the month? And I hear from a portion of them. And you know what? I work with the portion who respond to me. And then the rest of them get a text message again next month. And if they decide to show up, awesome. And if they decide not to, I don't care. I wish you the best of luck at whatever stage of life you're at, but they're going to know that I'm always here, but I'm not going to wait on you. And I'm not going to babysit you. And I'm not going to like beg you to come back because that's a waste of time and energy, right? So I have done a lot of things wrong, you guys, a lot of things. And part of that is that I didn't develop myself beyond presidential diamond capability in those 2 years. Because I was so busy being busy that I didn't take the time to slow down. And sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. And right now, I know that this season of my life is meant for building to Ambassador Diamond. But literally, God keeps taking me back. And he keeps taking me back and he keeps taking me back because he will continue to take you back to learn the same lesson over and over and over again until you actually get it in your head. And I'm a really slow learner. Let me just tell you that. I was such a slow learner. So he has taken me back to the same lesson over and over and over again. And I'm hoping that this year, this is the year I'm going to learn the lesson. I kind of tell myself that. I've told myself like that, like the last 2 years. I'm like, this is going to be my year. And I still haven't learned my lesson. You guys, I know what the lesson is. I know what it is. And I'm like determined, like this is going to be my year. This is going to be the year that I'm going to slow down to speed up. And I'm going to take the time to grow my mind and grow my leadership and grow my heart and all these things. And that is what's ultimately going to take me to the next level. But I can't go to the next level when I'm not a leader to take my team to the next level. That's not fair to them. It's impossible. My leadership capabilities are keeping us here as opposed to here. And that's on me. Right? So, but the 80% thing, you guys, that is what's the most important thing. And for those of you who really are like, but my team needs me. If they need you, they'll find you. And they can wait, by the way. Their emergency is not your emergency. Please remember that. Just repeat that to yourself. Their emergency is not your emergency. And you'll be there in 2 hours. And their emergency will still be there. Or, you know what? Half the time I don't answer people right away. They get the problem fixed on their own. It's amazing. So, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like yell at you guys, but.
That was good. I've never heard an answer like that. I've never heard, because I'm not kidding. Like, I love that you said sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. That's been my 2019. Like, and I'm not saying I've slowed down. I've had some great recruiting every single month and I've had new leaders pop and I'm so blessed, but I feel like God is taking me like, Kim, take a seat. Okay. If you want to go presidential, you need to do some things that you haven't done before. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just being, what's the word? I'm complying. I'm just complying. I'm like, you got it. Yes. I'm being obedient. There's the word. And it's just crazy what he has taught me, because here's the thing. Like, when you really sit down and think about it, you're like, okay, if you're me anyway, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. This is it for me. This is it. This is it. So if I have to become and develop myself to be the best version of myself, the best leader that I can be. And I'm chilling with Triple, and I'm not chilling like I'm staying here. I'm chilling like, okay, God, you've blessed me abundantly where I'm at now, but to get to presidential, like, Kim, you have to grow. And if that's what he needs me to do, like, I'm fine with that. And I'm so excited for what's to come, because presidential top 100, it is coming, but you have to be ready for it. And so I'm just talking about me, but now let's think in your guys' case. Like, you're like, man, why haven't I? Or you're trying to gain that rank back, or you're trying to go that next rank. And you're like, what is going on? Sit down and think, are you doing the personal growth? Are you focusing on the people that want this? That is my biggest, I could preach that all day long. Stop paying attention to the people who don't. Like, literally, and I'm like, no one cares. And I know that sounds mean, but like, I've had people leave this business and blame me, and they didn't do a single thing. They didn't lift a single finger. And I'm just like, good thing I've got a heart of kind of stone, because girl, bye. I don't have nothing to do with how not successful you were. And that's a good feeling to know that as long as we're bringing people in, we're training them, we're loving them, and then we're letting them go in the best way. That's all we need to be doing. I mean, and that's what the team page is for. And exactly, they'll find you. And I love that you touched on, like, their emergency is not yours. I've had people like, Kim, I'm like, girlfriend, you know that after 4 p.m. when my babies are home from school, leave me be until dinner time, or until after dinner time. Like, that you have to make your own rules, or you will go crazy. You will be very plugged into just your team and the things that you're doing. So that was just such good advice. So Heather says, what's your best advice for slow builders? I haven't skyrocketed. I'm always looking for advice, tips on the steady builders. Okay, she's first of all. Let's start there. But yeah, what is some good tips? Yes, Tabitha said that's me. Okay, so answer that the best way that you can.
Okay, you're probably not going to like this answer. Just heads up. You cannot be a slow builder if you want to be successful in this business. And the reason why is because people will quit. No. Okay, let's say that differently. You have to bring people in faster than they're leaving. You have to bring people in faster than they're leaving. And the other bad part about that is only about 10% of the people that you bring in will stick, and only 1% of the people that you bring in will do something incredible. Those are not good numbers. So if you're a slow builder, that means that you could recruit 1 person a month, 12 distributors a year, and you're not even looking at executive because everybody quit. You can't. You have to get your business off the ground. I don't know if you guys follow Eric Worre. I'm assuming that you do, because Kim mentioned Eric Worre. But he uses the analogy of an airplane. And your airplane is sitting there on the runway, and you have to give it 100% full throttle to get it off the ground. And you have to continue to give it 100% full throttle until you are at cruising altitude, at which time you can take the throttle off like 20%. Not 50%. You don't want to fall, right? We don't want to die. But you have to give it 100%. And if you don't know how to recruit more people, you ask somebody who can recruit a lot of people. But I can honestly tell you that the trick to recruiting a lot of people, just like I said earlier, you have to be crazy excited. Because if you're not crazy excited, nobody wants what you have, right? And you have to just be super forward and just be like, you need to do this business with me. Like, you guys, I will literally meet somebody in a restaurant, like my server, and she'll just be amazing. And I'll be like, girlfriend, is this your only job? And she'll be like, yeah, I do this, and I have a kid, and I go to school. And I'll be like, you need to come work with me. You're absolutely incredible. She'll be like, okay, what do you do? Give me your phone number. I'm going to call you. Like, I mean, like, you have to come work with me. Like, you have to tell people, and this is so scary, but don't be afraid to tell people. Don't be afraid to tell people what they need to do. So many people are lost. They're like wandering around like zombies, and they're I don't know, facing their phone. Let's go make some money together. Like, you would be so good at this, but you just have to do it. There is no slow building. And the reason why there's no slow building is, first of all, because there won't be any, there's no slow promoting, first of all. There can't be slow building because there's no slow promoting. And if there is slow promoting, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. So you need to recruit fast, and you need to teach your team to recruit fast. I'm sorry if that's not a good answer.
Dude, I freaking love you. Stop. They're all good answers. So, and what I love is like, if you can handle, because listen to me, in 6 years, I've handled these kinds of truths and it's made me successful. So if you can handle the hard truths and you still want to stick around on my team, girl, let's go. Like, I want to get it with you because it's so true. I mean, that's why they have the steps to success, minimum 3 distributors, 4 customers. If you can double that, yes. Like, that's my goal every month, is to double it, because there is success in numbers. And she's right. Like, there is. And listen, Kaylee, I don't know if she's still on here. Kaylee is my double diamond. And we also have Sienna, who's a double diamond under Kaylee. And Kaylee is my 1%er. Like, I cannot tell you how many people in that year that I signed Kaylee. I literally couldn't tell you. Probably a lot. And Kaylee's still here with me today.
Is Kaylee the one who was at the Try It?
Yes.
I remember her.
Yes.
Your faces, because like all of you have your cameras off, and I kind of feel like it's just me and Kim here chatting.
But
wake
up, y'all.
Camera on, like I might see her face. Oh, there's other people on here.
There's other people. Hi, let me put it on gallery mode. Hi.
I remember her story, and like I was like, oh my gosh, I was blown away. I was like, I want to sign Kaylee. Like, that is amazing.
Yeah. So it is. It's like you find that one diamond in the rough and you're like, thank God I worked that hard for, I mean, seriously, and it pays off. So don't get Noelle's words twisted. Sienna said I'm sick. I know you are. So listen, like, what was I saying? Don't twist Noelle's words. She's not saying like
she's sick and she's still on here, which is like,
that's a double diamond, right? That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So like, don't get it twisted. We're saying like, yeah, you're going to have people quit. Okay. But the beautiful thing about this is it takes that 1% person to take your business to a literal whole nother level. Like, it's crazy how one person can change your business. So do I even remember the people that quit? Nope. I don't remember the people that quit last month. I truly don't. Couldn't tell you. Don't care. Moving on. I'm looking at your guys' faces. That's what I want to see, is your guys' faces.
Those are the charts we're going to focus on, right? We're going to focus on the people who show up, or the people that we actually get to focus on. We get to focus on how you're building, what your goal is. Let's look at your chart. Let's look at your numbers. I'm not looking at people. I'm not wasting my time on people who aren't here, right?
Yeah. God, that's so good. And like, Heather gave Sienna her sickness. Y'all suck. So there was something else I was going to say that, dang it. It was so good. Hold on. Okay. It's like gone. It was so good. Thanks a lot, Sienna. I think you made me forget it. But it was so good. That was all. I love the hard truths, because yeah, seriously, if you can handle that and keep going, like, you're going to be so successful, and you're going to see the bigger picture, and you're going to see the payoff, and you're going to see that paycheck that you've been praying for. And that's the blessing of this business, is that there is just such power in numbers. So is there anything that you wanted to end us on or add, or is there another question, you guys? Because I was going to say something and now it's like completely gone. So, oh, I know what I was going to say. Thank you, Noelle. Thank you if you have one thing. So I still to this day, speaking of waitresses, I still to this day blitz people, of course. I love blitzing. I love making new friends face to face. I just love it. And it just like, I was at a restaurant on Friday with Joe. It was a new restaurant. And we went because my hairstylist, she's been cutting my hair for 5 years, but I just became friends with her daughter about a year ago. And like, I love her. She's so cool. And I am like, please join my team. And of course I've asked her and stuff like that. But I said, you know, I'm just building this relationship. So I went to her work. I knew she worked at this place and I'm like, we're going to come visit you. She's like, oh my God, yes. Okay. So we're becoming like good friends. And while I was there for her, I blitzed a girl behind the bar and she was like, I love your lipstick. I'm like, girl, let me message you what this is. And so I'm like, what's your Facebook? And she was like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Danielle, the girl that I went for, was like, do you just make friends everywhere you go? Like, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, yeah, I do. Yes, I do. So be willing to put yourself out there. Like, most people would be like, I could never ask. Like, yes, you can. You can do the scary things. I love that Noelle told her family, this is your situation. This is why you need to join. So let's do this. Like, you just have to be willing to give a compliment, tell them why it would be so amazing, And then
Or not
actually,
give a compliment and tell them why their life sucks. I'm just kidding.
or that's fine too. Like,
Don't
you
do that
suck,
unless it's your family.
you suck, your life sucks, everything sucks. You need to join my team. Do that too. That's fine. But how many ups and downs have you seen over the years? Like, yeah, that's a good question. So yeah.
I mean, it's always changing. It's always changing. And you guys, like I said earlier, I'm a really slow learner. So it took me about 2 years to recognize that like my spring paychecks and my like leading into the summer, that my paychecks would be bomb. And then by the time Christmas came, I would be out of money. It literally took me 2 years to realize that, because I'm totally a slow learner. So, I mean, like now I know, like, oh, okay, the first 5 to 6 months of the year, well, not January, but like February, March, April, May, June, like those are going to be your really good checks, right? And then July, August, September, everybody checks out and goes away because it's summertime and they think that they can't work by the pool or something. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to work with kids home, by the way. And then September, like kids go back to school, and it's almost like, I love September, you guys, because it's like January. People reset in September. I literally feel like we have 2 beginnings of the year. We have January 1st and we have September 1st. And kids go, well, like after Labor Day, so like September 5th. Kids go back to school and people get their heads back in the game and they're like, oh, I have a business. Maybe I should do something with this. And like, it's totally fresh, okay? So September, October, November are bomb. People actually focus. And then December comes and people are like, I'm too busy with family and travel and parties and all these things, which is legit true, okay? I'm not discounting that. It's craziness, okay? So December is busy. It's busy. December is one of those times where you get to figure out how to work within the busyness. And then guess what? I start getting text messages on Facebook, Christmas Day. About 3 p.m. is when people start messaging me for products. Not even kidding. Every year. Christmas Day. After people have had their breakfast and they've opened their presents and they're headed to the movies. Oh, and by the way, they're fat. I need to get skinny for the new year because New Year's resolutions. I start getting messages Christmas Day. So it's always the same. It's always the same. I have not enrolled. How many distributors have I enrolled this month? It's the 11th. I haven't enrolled anybody. I've enrolled 5 customers. No distributors. Last month I enrolled 2 distributors. You guys, I am a Steps to Success fanatic. I almost always do my Steps to Success every single month since the beginning of time, once a month, 1 to 4 times a month. Those are my numbers. The last few months, I have not done that. You know what? It's okay. I know that I can tell you that I've enrolled 11 distributors, 12 distributors since May. May, June, July. Okay, so I guess that's still kind of steps, but it's all. But the point is that you're going to have ups and you're going to have down times, and you're going to have mass enrollment months and you're going to have slow months, but your job is not to determine who's going to sign up when. Your job is just to show up every single day, because you never know when it's going to be the right time for someone. And learn that your December paycheck is not going to be the same as your April paycheck. It's just not. And that is okay, because we learn to save, because Christmas is when we need the most money, right? It was when we have the least. So we save early on in the year.
And it's so, like, you're dead on with that too, because those are the months where I'm like, dang, my paychecks were bomb. And yeah, all the other months are bomb too, but they're not as bomb as those months. And like, it is crazy. And so what I tell y'all, team, they're like, I hope you're right. I'm like, I am right. September, October, November, like, shit gets crazy. Like, just be prepared. And so what I want y'all to focus on is helping make sure, because if you listen to Pam, and I totally believe in this too, summer is not slow if you don't make it. So I know that, like, Noelle's filling out her steps, I'm filling out my steps, and the blessing of that. So if y'all see me filling out my steps, please know that I'm also helping my team fill out their steps. And to me, that is like, I'm like Cheyenne talked about last week. It's like I'm enrolling. That's what it feels like. I'm like, okay, that's technically me too, right? But I can't write those down. So just get prepared. And they were like, Kim, are you for real? I'm like, I'm telling you, it gets crazy. So I want you guys to hold on to that September, October, November momentum, and really, I mean, do the things so that it travels into the spring and the summer. Because if you're no excuses, your team, that trickles. And that's why we've had a great summer, y'all. And yep, but I kept telling them, like, listen, fall gets wild. Like fall gets wild. And I agree. On Christmas Day, people are like, all right, Kim, what's up with it? I'm like,
what you got? What you got? I need to lose 50 pounds. Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. I'm like, you guys would. Y'all would wait until Christmas Day. And like when we come out with what I love too is I remember this is actually why we stay home for Thanksgiving. For those of you who don't know, you can ask Joe. He's right here. Like we stay home for Thanksgiving, and my family's always like, "Why do you stay home for Thanksgiving? Come hang out with us." And I'm like, "No, because here's the thing: we have Black Friday deals, and I have to message a shit ton of people. So you guys can have fun, like being a family and being cute. I have a lot of work to do because that is one of the best, I swear, times ever is when we come out with Black Friday deals. So it's
and for those of you who can't get out of the family thing, because like every year I have to be at my in-laws' house for Thanksgiving, first of all, because I don't want to cook because my mother-in-law is their chef, and secondly, because that's when we have to go see them. Like they just know I have to work.
Yep.
And so I'm super intentional with not having my phone, doing no work when I'm with them. Yep. And then I think, okay, I need an hour.
Yep.
Randy, you got the kids. And I disappear for an hour. And they know that, like they know. And so I am like there, but they know that that's like, you have to tell your family. And when you prioritize your business because this is important to you, they're going to be like, oh, like she's for real. Yeah. I'm for real because this pays my bills. So you let them know I'm going to be 1,000% here with you. No distractions. And then guess what? I need an hour. I need 5 hours.
I need 5 hours.
I do need 5. I need like 12 hours. But anyway.
No, and that's true. That's other holidays for me. That's Christmas Day for me. We go to my family's and I'm like, y'all know what I do for a living. I mean, this is what I do. Y'all got to start treating this like this is what you do. It's not a hobby. This is what you do. And so I do. I'm like, Joe, on Thanksgiving, after we get all cleaned up, I'm like, you know the deal. Like, you know we're going to have BOGO wrap.
I got work to do.
Yep. I'm like, love you, but I have work to do. So it gets crazy, y'all. And I just want you to be prepared. So this was really good. Is there anything that you wanted to end us on?
I want to say this because a lot of people build on social media. And I know that you're belly to belly, just like I am. You guys, I'm 50% belly to belly, 50% social media. I blitz people, I bring them back to my social. If Facebook were to close down tomorrow, what would happen to your business? If you are 100% social media, you are walking on thin ice. It might be uncomfortable, but you are in a network marketing business, which means you are in a relationship business, which means you're in a people business, which means you need to get out of your house and meet people. So you need to work on, if that's a skill that you don't have, you need to start developing that by join a book club, join a gym, join a Bible study, join a tennis league. I don't care what you do. You got to get out of your house and you got to go start meeting people, and you have to actually start building real relationships. Because what the statistics are saying right now is that we are the most connected generation of all time. We're the most connected society, and people have never been so lonely. People are dying for relationships, and they don't have it because all they have is their Facebook or their Instagram. When you get out there and you actually go start meeting people and being intentional, just watch how things change. So that's your goal. I'm challenging all of you this week. If you're not used to leaving your house, you get to go out and actually meet people face to face, and it doesn't have to be blitzing people. Just go make friends with a new barista. Go, I don't care, join something. I don't care, join something. Go make a new friend this week, like an actual friend, not a Facebook friend. That's my challenge.
I love that challenge, and it makes a world of difference. I can't explain to you guys the difference between an in-person wrap party and messaging people. It just, if you've held a party with me, you know, like it's just, first of all, I can seal the deal on the spot. Second of all, it's just fun and people are having conversation. And like I went to the old folks home down the street. It's literally around the corner. And you guys, I always have an intention when I'm doing stuff like that. Like y'all just saw Kim and her family go to an old folks home. But what I saw is that I'm really making a connection with my neighbors down the street who took me there. And they're going to say yes to these products or a wrap party or something. And that's what, I mean, I don't mean to say everyone is a dollar sign. That's not what I'm saying. But those connections, you know, really getting to know people. First of all, God created us to love. And like, I feel like we're supposed to love each other and be in person and not all through social media. I will admit, if I had to only do this through social, I'd be like, that's boring. And that seems a lot more like it would just kind of like, it's more of a quick down. Not that I'm like you, 50% social, 50% in person. So this was all so good. I hope that it helped you guys. Noelle, we appreciate you so much. You're the best. It was fun. So thank you. This is recorded, so I'll put it on YouTube, you guys, and I'll make sure you get it too, Noelle. So thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Have a good night. See you later. Happy Sunday. See you on the Mark's page, whatever. Bye, guys.